So welcome to See the Stories. This is the signature segment of the show. So recently the term child-free has been a very popular term on social media, but let me ask you guys. Okay, you're parents with kids, of course, definitely you wouldn't agree with child-free, would you?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? You agree or you disagree with child-free?
I don't agree with child-free.
You don't agree with child-free, okay. No. What children has brought you into
Joy.
your life? Joy.
Of course, joy. Everything, every time you come home with a lot of stress, with a lot of problems, you come home, I mean, this might be a cliche, but it is true. You come home to a kid, to a son, to a daughter,
and that makes your life happy.
You just feel good. Yes.
You just feel good. So you've got how many kids?
Of course, I got 2.
You got 2 kids. What about you, Mar?
Yeah, my kid brings me so much joy.
Not stress.
Sometimes a little more stress.
A little bit stressed
but,
sometimes.
Yeah,
you
but,
gotta admit.
Yeah, all the mixture makes me happy.
All the mixture makes
me happy.
You happy. The reason why I asked this because there's a child-free term has become very popular, let alone brought about by Gita Savitri, a well-known influencer, and she opts not to have kids to make her look young, to make her stay happy. And some people agree, and some people, of course, on my right or left, disagree with that.
What about you, Rory? What's your personal opinion?
I would say it goes back to your personal preference because I have friends who they opt to not have kids, although they are married and they are a straight couple, and they're happy for not having kids.
Yes.
I think they have been very consistent in not having kids. They have been married for more than 10 years now.
Oh,
wow.
But some others, they say that they are not ready yet. So they want to travel the world. They want to enjoy their early marriage life. And maybe after 5 or 6 years, then they will plan to have kids.
Yep.
Right? So, but to know more about this issue about child-free, let's check out this next video.
Child-free is a term for those who voluntarily choose not to have children for personal reasons.
According to the book entitled Childfree and Happy, many have chosen not to have children for health, psychological, financial, and other personal reasons.
So that's not true, for you to be stress-free by not having kids?
No, I don't think so.
Yes, because stress can come from many other factors.
Right, and it's really interesting, Maria, because you mentioned about support system.
Yep.
So your kids can bring positive support system to you?
Yes, because there comes the kid and there comes support system, right? Like your in-laws and then your parents and then your cousins.
But,
like they come to support you when you can't be there for your children.
But would you support people who choose to not have kids? Would you support them?
Of course.
Yeah.
We understand. I mean, I personally understand the preferences, of course, and their decisions. And of course, again, it goes back to, again, maybe the surroundings or maybe the way they were brought up, back in their family when they were kids, when they were younger. So everybody has their reasons.
Right.
Yes.
We respect that.
Yeah, and I think not everybody is mentally ready to have kids.
And that too.
Because having kids can be really stressful, right?
That's
right. And what if we only are ready to have kids when we reach 40 or 50, and that's okay because we can adopt kids as well.
Exactly.
I
like
agree.
one of our celebrities got her egg cell frozen.
Yep.
Right.
To preserve the fertility and to be able to have kids later in life.
Yes,
right?
Especially with the technology nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so now to know more about the psychological aspects of child-free, we are now connected with psychologist Rika Kristina. Good afternoon, Mbak Rika.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, so let's dive into it. So why, in the first one here, why do some people choose not to be or not to have children or be child-free? What do you think?
Okay, this is a very popular and viral topics nowadays. I agree that there are many factors that can influence someone's decision to be child-free. The first one, maybe is it because of the priority. Many couples feels that they want to travel the world, they want to buy house or houses, they want to buy some stuffs that need a lot of money, and when they have a children, maybe their priority have to be different, right? So the first thing is maybe some people have a different priority other than having a kids. The second one, maybe because of the trauma. Yeah, it could be for someone who have a childhood trauma or childhood wounds. It's harder for them to raise and love kids as they are, because I cannot deny when you have kids, maybe you have more stress and you have to be more patient to them and understand the why behind every behavior. Maybe when they doesn't want to obey or listen to you, you have to understand, and it takes a lot of energy, right? If you have a childhood trauma, maybe you were raised from a family that do not listen to you when you were a kid, it's hard for you. How can I hear them? How can I understand them? Yeah, so trauma can be a thing. And maybe the third one, I guess, financial issue, that can be also an important reason for them to not having a kids, because as we all know, having a kids means bigger expenses. You will have you will put a lot of money in pregnancy journey and hospital bills, if you want to buy toys, education fee, we all know it's not cheap. So yeah, financial issue, if some couples do not ready for the expenses, maybe they can decide to not having a kids or to be child free.
I see. Yeah. Of course, we agree that having kids can be costly. But what about being child-free? What are the things that we as people? I mean, like, what are the things that people must prepare if they decide to be child-free?
Okay, the first thing, I guess, all people have to find the reason, the why, because as we all know, there are social pressure or maybe a demand from our family for in-laws. So I think that it's really important for you or for your family to really understand and find why you want to be child-free. And the second one, of course, you have to be one voice with your spouse. Because in my experience, I already met some couples, it only comes from one side. And I guess it's not really good, because it can create a conflict in your marriage. So what you have to be prepared is the why, the reason, and make sure it is coming from your heart, internal motivation. And the second one is you have to be one voice with your spouse.
Right. So, Rika, talking about social pressure that you mentioned earlier. So, this is a typical social pressure present in Indonesia. When are you going to get married? Once you are married, when are you going to get kids? Right? If you have one kid, when are you going to get the second one?
That's very true.
When they will go to, school, to university, and that questions go on and on.
That never ceases.
It never ceases, it never ends. And some of us may be rebellious, right? We want to rebel. We don't want to listen to social pressure by being rebellious. Okay, I'm just not going to have kids. After I get married, I'm just not going to have kids because I want to be rebellious, right? So is that a factor, that kind of social pressure that makes us fed up with that social pressure that, then motivates us to be child-free? Or is there any other factor, for example, like career, because the parents want to pursue career, so okay, by being child-free, then I'm free to go to pursue my career. What do you think on this?
Yeah, I guess it can happen in both ways. The first one, for the social pressure, it's real, right? In our society, we heard a lot of social pressure. We get a lot of social pressure, and it can influence our decision to be child-free or not. I also have some friends who end up having a kids just because their family and their relatives asked them to have one. But deep inside, they didn't want to, because maybe they are not ready, and for the emotional readiness or for the financial readiness. Yeah, I guess it's we have to be careful if it happens to us because we will have a long consequences because we are raising a human that needs our full effort, full attention, full energy, and
Yeah.
in raising them, in raising children. But yeah, we can also understand that yeah, social pressure is real and it's not easy for them. Not all of us can be rebellious and say no, I don't want to hear you,
Yeah.
and this is my opinion. It's not easy for everyone.
Yes.
So, Rika, you're saying that career might be one of the reasons or the factors for some of these individuals postponing to have children. But let's say that one person is deciding not to have one, but along the way, he or she was getting pressure from the family, from the friends, from the colleagues, and then she or he decides that, okay, I think I'm going to have one. But is that going to have any effects later on when that person is actually having a kid of their own? Maybe that they're going to look at the kid a little bit not in a full picture. Maybe that's a good word to say it. Is there a possibility of that to happen?
I guess if the decision is coming from your heart, maybe because you already have personal experience, personal experience, and then you change your mind to have kids, it's okay, and you still can love them the way they are, and you can still see them as 100% as your children. You can love them fully, but again, if the motivation is not coming from your heart, it's from external factors, then yeah, it could be that it's hard for you to love and to accept your child or your children 100%, or yeah, as a full heart. So I guess it's not important. The decision is come when you start your family, or maybe 5 or 6 years after you start your family. The most important thing is it coming from your heart or not?
All right, Mbak Rika. Now I want to ask a question related to the viral news. Do you agree that people who are child-free can be more youthful or even more healthy? Or even healthier than people who are parents who have children?
Okay, about this viral phenomenon, in my honest opinion, I do not agree with that because yeah, aging comes to all of us, right? And live healthy. If you want to have a nice skin, it's not only defined by your kids. Yeah, as we already hear in some comments in social media, if you have some money, if you want to put a lot of time in do some exercise, then you will have a healthy body. You will have a healthy skin if you eat good food or healthy food.
Yeah.
And also, if you take a good care of yourself, including how to manage your stress, then you will stay happy and young. I guess it's not only defined by your kids.
Right.
Even if, yes, I know having kids is not easy and sometimes it can be really stressful.
Right, because stress is always there.
Yep.
It's not to be avoided, but it's to be managed, right? And I think
Yeah.
I like
building a business is more stressful than having a kid.
that. Really?
Okay, so Rika, is there anything that needs to be prepared for those who choose to be child-free? Psychological aspect, or maybe for material, I think they are more saving than having kids, right? But in terms of psychological aspect, do they need to prepare something?
Okay. When you are not having a kids, you will have some consequences, right? One of the consequences that I think right now is when we are getting older, yeah, when you will get more lonely, maybe, especially when your spouse is death or grieving is something that we cannot avoid. you have to think about this. How will you spend the rest of your days when your spouse or when you are getting older? And yeah, loneliness is something that is that cannot be avoided from our life. So we have to think about our life maybe 20, 30 years from now. How will you spend your life? Because maybe our parents also is not here with us anymore. And also this is my suggestion. If you want to be child free but you were confused or you have a lot of consideration about this, don't hesitate to discuss this with professional, maybe a marriage counselor, a psychologist, because I guess same like having a kids, child free also need to be prepared. You will need a lot of discussion, a deep talk with your spouse, with your family also about this. So yeah, you need a lot of preparation too.
Yeah, so that kind of help that you're talking about, like marriage counselor and that kind of stuff. Is there anything like that here at the moment here in Jakarta? Maybe that for someone or maybe a couple that can go to and have a discussion about having a child or not having a child.
Yes.
Specifically, right? Yeah. Okay.
You can find adult clinical psychologist. Also, you can find a marriage counselor or a marriage therapist. They are equipped to handle this kind of situation, this kind of cases, and we can ask for their suggestion, advice, or something that we have to be prepared about this choice to be child free.
All right. Yep. Thank you so much, Mbak Rika, for your time and your insight about having kids or going child free.
Right.
Yes.
So it goes back to your personal preference, right?
Yes.
And any other factor can cause stress. It's
Yes,
not
I
only having
agree.
kids, but having business or even on a daily life, especially living in a big city, very congested like Jakarta.
Yes.
You will have lots of reasons to have stress. So stress is to be managed, not to be avoided.
Yeah, I like that one, Rory. All right, see the stories will continue after the break. Don't go anywhere.